Welcome to Hyderabad, the home of Sreenidi Deccan FC, who started off their I-League campaign with a huge 4-0 win in the Deccan Arena, where they have been unbeaten for as long as they have been tested, as Sreenidi Deccan FC take on Kashi in match number 8 of the I-League 23-24 season. And at the home of the Deccan Warriors, we take a look at Sreenidi Deccan's changing room. Aryan on the bench today, as Ubaid will start in goal. Lots of experienced campaigners, and of course Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto, their coach, would have been happy with their first 4-0 win. We had a chat with him heading into this second encounter versus Kashi.
As a coach, always I want a good performance. We work for that. We know that sometimes this don't happen. Of course, it's football. Sometimes we have bad days, but we have to keep the focus, the commitment. And if we do this, we are more close to get good performance. So I expect, of course, good performance. But I know that the other side there is a good opponent.
Kashi is a new team in the league. It will be tough to prepare a team for like that. But they gave a very good account of themselves against Deccan Kerala. What do you think about that?
They have good players. They have a good coach. So we expect, of course, a tough match. They are a new club, it's true, and also because of that, it's difficult to get some games in pre-season of them. But we study Kashi, and we have a plan for the match. And of course, I believe that we can get a good result.
Thank you so much, coach, and all the way.
Thank you.
And then on the other side, it's Kashi, the new boys who thoroughly impressed with a 2-2 draw over Gokulam Kerala as they travelled to Kozhikode. A couple of big names in terms of the Spanish acquisitions for Kashi, and experienced backline as well. Let's hear what their coach, Carlos Javier Santamarina, had to say before this encounter.
A very impressive start to a historic I-League campaign against Gokulam Kerala, and then another tough game against a team like Sreenidi. How do you prepare for games like these?
Good afternoon. Yes, we started well against Gokulam, but this is the past. Now we have a tough game today against Sreenidi. But we prepare well during this week. We know it will not be easy because we only can practice 1 hour in this surface, and we don't used to work in this kind of surface. But we will fight, and we are ready for playing the game for sure.
Considering this is your first season in the I-League, a lot of teams would not know much about Kashi. Do you see this as an advantage for your team?
Yeah, but the disadvantage in 2-3 games, everybody will see us. So and most of the players have a lot of experience here in India. So yes, we are new, but as I told you, we are trying to make a good team, and I want everybody can identify our style soon, very, very soon.
Thank you so much, coach, and all the very best.
Thank you so much.
So it will be an interesting battle of the two managers, both named Carlos. Which one will prevail? Will it be Vaz Pinto or will it be Santamarina? As we take a quick look at the Deccan Arena, which will be playing host to this matchup. Sreenidi Deccan Football Club unchanged from their 4-0 win versus Neroka FC. It was the likes of David Castaneda Munoz, as always, on the score sheet a couple of times. Lalro Mavia scored, and Biakte also came on from the bench to score, but he will be not starting today because there's nothing to change in terms of personnel in the starting lineup for Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto. There is Arindam with a few warm-ups before the game as well. Made some stellar saves in that game versus Gokulam Kerala, with an interesting pairing, of course, with Peter Hartley at the back. As we will take a look at the Kashi lineup shortly. Three Spaniards in the midfield and up top in the form of Jordan, Mario and Del Pino. And a couple of changes, in fact 3 changes made to the Inter Kashi side, with Nikum, Vikash and Bijoy dropping to the bench. Deepak Devrani, Ishan Dey and Mohammad Asif, who came on to score, will start this game. Peter Hartley, of course, will be leading the line in the defense. And David Castaneda Munoz versus Arindam Bhattacharya will be one of the matchups to watch out for. A lot of different defenders will be having to deal with the likes of David Castaneda Munoz, who of course is not alone. He also has Rilwan Hassan, who he has built up a bit of a relationship with as well. And of course Faisal always looks to find David Castaneda Munoz. As we take a look at their lineup once again, this time Inter Kashi, Devrani and Hartley will be at the back. And it was quite interesting to see 3 changes for Inter Kashi, as referee Ramdasan will be taking charge of today along with his team. And as both the teams get their final words in, it's time for the first words of my co-commentator, as always, Rohit Ganguly. Thanks for joining us and welcome to what should be a fun day of I-League football, as we have a double header to start off the weekend.
Thank you so much, Liam, and a very good afternoon, very good evening as well to all the viewers out here. This is actually going to be a tough battle. The table toppers currently will be taking on the newcomers Inter Kashi. A couple of crucial changes to Inter Kashi. They've gotten Deepak Devrani as they dropped Bijoy V from the starting 11. Another important change will be the inclusion of Jackie Chan Singh into the side. He's starting on the bench, but we have known somebody of Jackie Chan's stature. He can be crucial the day he starts firing. So of course, also with Shehnaz Singh returning to the bench as well. He was not in the playing squad in the last game. So with all said and done, Inter Kashi will definitely be hoping that they can bring the kind of flair that is expected of them. But considering the firepower that Sreenidi Deccan FC comes to, particularly with the likes of David Castaneda, Faisal Shaeste, and with their defense spearheaded by the likes of Eli Sabia, they will definitely be hoping that at the moment, or they will be hoping that they will have to give a tough battle for sure, but whatever fight they are bringing to their opposition, it eventually comes through. Talking about the two coaches, Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto on the sidelines of Sreenidi Deccan FC. He is a man who prefers a very attacking brand of football, usually doesn't like to get back into the shell. Similarly, if we take a look at Carlos Javier's style, for him, it's about first soaking in all the pressure, but then every single time his opposition knocks on the door, he ensures the fact that he's paying the favor back. Attacking on your frame from the left to the right in their signature blues, hoping to bring the blues to their opposition, is Inter Kashi. Well, in attacking from the right to the left in their signature, vibrant and flamboyant orange and green, is Sreenidi Deccan FC.
And the Deccan Arena is all charged up for this one. It's been an impressive record for Sreenidi Deccan whenever they take their home turf by storm. Can Inter Kashi stop them this time round? Well, we will find out within the next 90 minutes as Mario Barco prepares to kick us off. And we do kick off match number 8 in the I-League 23-24 season. It's Sreenidi Deccan playing host to Inter Kashi, who are looking for their first win in I-League history. They start off with the ball into the box, and that's very nicely taken within the first 10 seconds by Ubed CK.
Well, Sreenidi Deccan, they had their first match against Naroka FC. Now, both the opposition that they have faced are kind of polarizing in stature, because Naroka FC was more focused on keeping their defense intact and trying to soak in all the pressure and then eventually go on the breaks. But talking about Kashi, we have seen in the first game, they may be newcomers, yes, but the kind of team that they have built, there's a fair blend of experience in their side. They are not one of the teams who likes to sit back and defend. So of course, expect both the sides to come forward with a very feisty brand of encounter.
Absolutely, Rohit. I think it will be quite an open game. The first goal will be very important. Both teams will look to get forward. Kashi also having 4 goals in their game, but it was 2 apiece as the spoils were shared against a very strong Gokulam Kerala side. So it was a great start to the campaign for them. Here they come, but Sreenidi Deccan managed to move forward. Rilwan playing very deep to start off this game, and he is brought down for what will be the first foul of the afternoon. And Rohit, we did mention that Kashi were very good in that game versus Gokulam Kerala, playing away from home, of course. Still, 3 changes made to the starting lineup. So do you think that is because they have switched to this surface perhaps, which Carlos Santamarina was talking about, which is an AstroTurf surface? Hartley will play that back to Arindam. So 3 changes made, which you wouldn't really expect after a solid 1-point performance.
Well, I personally believe there can be 2 reasons for same. As he mentioned about the AstroTurf, of course, the likes of, first and foremost, in the last game we witnessed, we'll get back to that, there's a player down who will need some treatment. And yes, talking about what happened in the last game, when Peter Hartley was going on the attacks, Bijoy was not really able to mark that centre-back pair. So we were talking continuously about the void that was created. Today, however, they have gotten a more experienced Deepak Devrani to pair up with Peter Hartley. So that will give him more freedom to go up. This is how the foul happened. I think it was very unintentional. Both of them went for the ball, considering that this is a body contact sport, collision of heads once again. I think it's slightly unfortunate, but that also tells you that how passionate, how hungry both the players are. So of course, the likes of this guy, in fact, Deepak Devrani coming in is just to introduce experienced into the defensive pair. And now talking about Ishan Dey. Ishan Dey is someone who brings in an amazing range of shooting flair. The last game we witnessed how Ishan Dey's introduction to the side increase the shooting flair or increase the attacking prowess of the team. So maybe that is why Ishan Dey has been introduced. And at the same time, I personally believe that Nikum could have been left in the playing 11 because Nikum was actually sensational, but I think his coach believes that they may introduce a bit more experience, particularly with the returning likes of Jackie Chan Singh and Sainat Singh. With the returning likes of Jackie Chan Singh and Sainat Singh, I believe when they come onto the pitch, they also bring a good amount of attacking flair. So that is why maybe those 3 changes have been made. I don't think it's mainly because of the AstroTurf. I mean, again, definitely a part of it would definitely be played in the stature of the ground. We'll get back to that. Sreenidi Deccan has a chance as they are building from the right. There comes a cross intended for the player onto the far left. Nicely sent onto the stride of, it looks like Marco Villar, is it? Or Castaneda, I reckon. It's Castaneda, in fact. Unfortunately, couldn't really latch onto it.
That's the first time we've seen David Castaneda Munoz getting involved in the proceedings. And that is where we see Deepak Devrani come into the party. Perhaps will be a bit more physical in the air with against the likes of Castaneda Munoz. That's a good ball through, but will go straight towards Obed CK. And I agree with you, maybe Gyamar could have started, but of course you need a bit of experience as well. Taking on the likes of Sreenidi Deccan at home. That is a good ball. Rilwan looks like he's onside, but not the best of touches. But at the same time, again, it's Deepak who gets there and just manages to thwart out what could have been a dangerous through ball for Rilwan.
Well, despite them starting with 4 defenders, I believe now what they are trying to do is they are changing it into a 3-4-3 formation because Peter Hartley is moving to the left. Deepak Devrani has been the solitary centre back, And on the right side, they have kind of deployed Sumit Pasi in the attack. So they are trying to use Sumit and Peter Hartley more on the attacking overlaps as well. This looks like a wonderful run. A brilliant cut in. Can be a shooting chance. He set it out down the central channel, but Peter Hartley stands tall and denies the opportunity.
It's very interesting you say that, Rohit, as we see another ball played through, because Hartley will keep moving up and down, which puts a lot of load on Devrani, who's just clutching onto his hamstring for a brief moment here. Hopefully he will be okay. No, he's asking them to put it out by the looks of it. Arindam has spotted it, and this is bad news. This is really bad news for Inter Kashi. Hopefully it's just a bit of, well, it should not be cramped so early on in the game, but this could be the end of Devrani, who started off the game really well.
I think it's a muscle pull. You pointed out very rightly, it cannot be a cramp this early in the game. They've just started. So if it's a muscle pull, he will not be able to take any further part in this fixture. I think the physio would be hoping that he's all right and it's nothing more than a cramp. He'll try his best for Deepak Devrani because he started on a good note. So that means maybe Bijoy V will once again be introduced early on. So the entire point of the change will be going down in flames. The referee is asking him to take him to the sidelines and give him treatment there. But these can indeed be warning signs. Talking about the fans though, look at them, how they have turned up in numbers, and why not, their home team is playing. And of course we know that the footballing craze has been surging. It's good to see that Deepak's back on his feet, and it looks like he'll continue, which is once again a very good sign. I think Peter Hartley just having a word there, a crucial one with Mohammad Asif, who is also a starter today. Arindam, he has his frowns intensified.
Let's see if Deepak can continue. The good thing is that they do have someone like Bijoy who can just come in. He played most of the game as well last time round, has developed a bit of an understanding with Hartley. And speaking of Mohammad Asif, he scored a goal and he reaps the benefits of it. He starts. So that is important, as we see a foul given towards Sreenidi Deccan. In fact, towards Inter Kashi. And that is important as a player because you know that you can get a chance if you perform from the bench. And it looks like Deepak will not play any further part in this one. The stretcher comes on, and that is unfortunate, especially because it's quite a long season, but the games are in quick succession. So he might not have enough time to recover instantly.
Here's a quick question, Liam. Since Deepak will be going off, of course, Bijoy V makes a like-for-like replacement. Do you think with the likes of Senat Singh on the bench, who's played a side back before, so maybe and just maybe they can slot Peter Hartley into the center of the defense and deploy Senaj on that left wing as a left wing back, just to counter that experience that Deepak brings into the mix?
Yes, it is possible, as we see Bijoy coming in. But we'll have to just wait and watch whether they change slightly or whether they keep it fairly the same, as Pasi puts that into a channel. It's a decent ball but does run out of space there. Asif.
They have gone forward with Bijoy and they are keeping that same position. They have or they are trying to use Peter Hartley on that left wing, who's now switched slightly towards that central channel. So maybe back to that same formation of 4-4-2 instead of the 3-4-3 that they wanted to play. Again, not really an easy formation to play unless you have tremendous support from your defenders, particularly the two wingers, because there will be times where they'll have to drop back and may even play as centre backs if needed. But now with Deepak Devrani, who was playing an instrumental role for the first 5 minutes, has now taken that seat on the sideline considering that unfortunate injury. And Inter Kashi can hope to try and build from the central channel. Nicely takes it towards that left wing. And it looks like there's been a bit of foul involved, which will allow Sreenidi Deccan. It's pretty surprising, Liam. Sreenidi Deccan actually hasn't really started on the front foot like they usually do, and they are happy to sit back and just let Kashi express themselves.
Yeah, it is quite surprising as we see a ball played towards Castaneda Munoz. Going to be such a big battle between him and Peter Hartley. Another foul. That occasion in the midfield from Sreenidi Deccan. And what they have done here so far in Kashi is made sure that the ball playing midfielders in the form of Maya and Faisal do not get too much of the ball to start off with. That's the first thing. The second thing is once David Castaneda Munoz starts getting in headers and holding up the ball, he is a force to reckon with. Those are the two things that they haven't started with, and credit to Kashi.
Well, it looks like Bijoy V's first touch wasn't as clinical as he expected it to be, because he's taken out Rilwan Hassan with that high boot. Fortunate for him that the card doesn't come out, because that was pretty high out there. Once again, yeah, that was right into his gut. That very well could have been an offense which was bookable, but the referee probably will tell him it's all right, first time, maybe and just maybe control your emotions.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. I think another foul and it definitely will be a yellow. And that's what happens when you are not prepared to start the game and you're suddenly thrown on. It will take a bit of time for him to adjust to the pace of it. And something that we noticed early on in the Kashi game versus Gokulam Kerala was the absence of a proper crux in the midfield. Today that's not the case. That's a nice ball towards the left hand side, and we can see that their deep lying number 10 Julian Perez Del Pino is holding on to that area and trying to spray the balls from behind rather than leaving a bit of a gap which was created in that first game between the midfield and the defense.
I think another point that has changed for Kashi is that they now have a much more definite display out on the midfield, as you pointed out, which was completely missing in the last game. And as a result, instead of only going for the long balls, they are also building from the back. So Peter Hartley isn't just getting in those long balls or just going in those overlaps. Today Peter Hartley is more centered out to his own defense. Sreenidi Deccan trying to use the left wing, but wonderfully intercepted there, allowing Kashi to win the ball back.
And this is a good start from Kashi. Sreenidi Deccan not really creating any chances so far. Rilwan has been good whenever he's got on the ball. Shifting on from this left hand side. Another long ball, this time towards Asif. Ubaid will deal with that nicely. And this is Elisabia towards Maya. You get the feeling that the pace will pick up. That's a poor pass from Maya. Nicely done. A bit of a chance to shoot, but it's not taken there by Jordan. But that is exactly where Julian Perez Del Pino came in. Now a chance to shoot. Not taken. Bit of a patient build up by Kashi. Barco puts it in, but it's well defended there by Pawan.
Nicely done by Kashi, who launches the ball once again into the mix. Could have been tricky there. Mario Barco Velar was on the prowl, but once again the likes of Ubaid CK showcasing his class under the woodwork. Another experienced name in terms of Indian football. Ubaid CK has been circling the Indian footballing fabric for a decade now, and finally bringing his gentry to the fore. That's a poor ball though, that'll go out of play. Eventually that will allow Sreenidi Deccan to catch a break.
But definitely a poor ball from Ishan Dey, because there was a runner in between there. Asif was quite free in fact, which was quite surprising. Ishan himself did not see him and went towards the right and did not pick up a pass he was looking for. Possession 56% in the favor of Kashi. Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto won't really mind it, but will definitely pay attention to the fact that his side haven't been the best of starters today. Sreenidi Deccan in general do start strong, as we saw in the last matchup. And in the last campaign, they started off with 3 wins out of 3 in the Deccan Arena, then drew a game. As Rilwan plays it towards Castaneda, who looks for the turn, and that is the first chapter in what will be a great battle between Hartley and Castaneda.
Peter Hartley hasn't been tested yet. And initially though, that's a nice body shield there by David Castaneda. He wanted to turn and play a square pass into the stride of an advancing Lal Ramoia. He was sensational in the last game as well, but Peter Hartley says, this is my yard. You don't walk that freely out here. Though this can be a decent chance for Sreenidi Deccan to try and chip that into the mix. Faisal takes a shot free kick. And it looks like the referee is having a word with Faisal. Maybe just go back slightly. Don't try and be tricky.
Yeah, I think he was just saying wait for the whistle. They do the exact same thing, Rosenberg. And of course, Kashi know that's coming. Nicely done by Edmund, who will be involved quite a bit. Maya recovers for Sreenidi Deccan. A bit of a loose touch from Ubaid, but he does that very calmly. Good pressure though from Kashi. And Maya eventually has to play the long ball out. And another opportunity which could have been put into the box was wasted there by the Deccan Warriors.
I think the Deccan Warriors look slightly complacent, and that is what is somewhat biting them back. Kashi has been a lot more controlled side today. The kind of passes that they have played, the kind of attacks that they have knitted, they have all been pretty categorical. Rilwal Hassan trying desperately to keep the ball away from the Warriors from Kashi. However, the Deccan Warriors are still to hit the right straps at the moment. Show going all the way down the central channel and now chips it forward. And it looks like the referee is all right with the challenge. No real meat in that. Pawan Kumar, who's also known as Drawl or Dral, whatever you want to call him, keeps the ball away from Kashi.
Now a bit of space for Sreenidi Deccan, but Lal Ramavia could not find the pass. It has been one of those games so far for Deccan, but they always find a way. In the Deccan Arena, last season's I-League, they had a great run here, unbeaten in the Deccan Arena, just 2 draws and 9 wins. So if you can get a point here, then it is a big achievement. That is not going to be a foul. Play on, says the referee, and this could be a chance for Kashi on the break. Jordan takes it onto his right foot, which he doesn't usually use, and Pasi takes a shot. Not the best of attempts from him. It will be continued by Ishande. Great stuff from him. Opens it up, chips it, and there was not too much of convincing, not a very convincing cross from him.
The heat is just being turned on right now on Sreenidi Deccan. They are trying to soak that all in, yes, but how successful will they be? That will be $1 million question. Kashi has got everything going in their favor right now. That's a nice long ball from Peter Hartley. However, that has been defended well enough by the hosts. The visitors are finding it difficult. Good to see that the stands are filled with numbers. We're pretty young. It's good to see that Indian fans are finally gracing the stadiums in pretty decent numbers. That too on a Saturday afternoon. In fact, a Friday afternoon. Apologies. And with that being said and done, expect Indian football to take a few strides with the home support. Nice attempt by Kashi to try and burst forward. Here's still an attempt from Ishan Dey trying to latch on to the ball, but eventually it's going to be Sreenidi Deccan to win a goal kick in their favor.
Yeah, as you said, the fans coming out and supporting their side here in Hyderabad. We have quite a lot of action for you this weekend in the I-League. There's Castaneda. Munoz holds on to it towards Ramavia. A bit of an option. Maya plays it towards Castaneda. This is better from Deccan. That's a good delivery. Rilwan with the shot, and what a save from Arindam. That is what he can bring to the table, and Arindam Bhattacharya starts off where he left off in the last game.
Yeah, in the midst of all the heat, we may have forgotten Arindam Bhattacharya's class, but he reminds us all why he is still one of the best in Indian football, sensationally fizzling himself low, and that too on the left, eventually trading it away for a corner, the first corner of the afternoon. Here's a chance for Sreenidi Deccan. Arindam comes out this time, makes a hash of affairs, misses the flight of the ball. The ball stays alive, and eventually Sreenidi Deccan will win it back. Hassan on the ball, sends it nicely, shooting opportunity. There comes the shot, but straight away hammers it to Arindam Bhattacharya, who was stationed like an impregnable wall under the woodwork.
Rilwan Hassan, I beg your pardon, has been the pick of the player so far for Sreenidi Deccan. First that shot versus Arindam, and then setting it up for Maya, who could have smashed it first time. There was an opportunity, took a touch, and then it was a bit too easy for Arindam, who makes a couple of saves. Now it looks like there will be another stoppage. Someone else has gone down.
Well, I reckon it's from Sreenidi Deccan. No, it's from Kashi himself. Is it Ishan De? Yes, it is Ishan De, who's clutching onto his hamstring as well. These aren't good signs at all, because he's also started well today. In fact, the entire Kashi side, they are pretty egged on. I mean, from Arindam to their entire attacking unit, everybody seems to be carrying on their responsibilities with distinction.
Something that we've noticed already in this Kashi side is good energy, especially with someone like Arindam. As you can see, the ball has gone out of play, but he is still talking, he's still communicating. You've got someone like him there, you've got Peter Hartley, and then we've also seen the Spanish midfield, the trio, they talk quite a bit. So communication is the key, and that keeps the energy alive in the side. Of course, a good first performance versus Gokulam Kerala to start off the campaign would have helped, and today they are doing the exact same.
Communication is the key. What a nice phrase, what a powerful phrase that is, Liam. And it looks like Sreenidi Deccan wants to go long, but the Route 1 brand of football doesn't really suit them until now. In talking about communication, India's head coach, Agos Dimash, he has been focusing on communication between the players. He's trying to build a young team, and to be honest, the way the men in blue, the Blue Tigers, have been faring under his chaperonage, that has been sensational to watch. And now Sreenidi Deccan just trying to get a hold of the ball in the midfield. That has been not exactly the case today.
Pavan going for another long ball. Nicely taken down by Rosenberg, who we haven't seen much of. Ball into the area again. Easy pickings for Bijoy. This could be a chance here for Rilwan. To Romavia. Faisal. There's a runner on the side. They don't use it, and they will have to rebuild from the right hand side. Better from Deccan though. Too much on that for Rosenberg, and it fizzles out of play. But great shape from Kashi once again.
I think what Carlos Santamarina has done is, the moment Deepak Devrani went out of play, the instruction to Peter Hartley was very upright. Remain in the center. Do not go up adventuring. Just try and help Bijoy V as well. Keep the pair intact, because we are not seeing Peter Hartley. He was going on overlaps in the last game. Today he is very much stationed out in that central part of the defense, and that is why Kashi has done a very good job. And at the same time, Bijoy V has actually done a pretty decent job until now, at least.
Absolutely, Rohit. And I don't really get that tactic of your main centre back, your leader of the defense, as we see a foul on Jordan. I don't really get that tactic of your main centre back going on those runs all the time. Sometimes, of course, it will happen. Definitely when it comes to set pieces, it will happen. We saw him doing it quite a bit in the last game. But if you do want to employ that tactic, then maybe play him in the midfield itself when you have two centre backs like Bijoy and Deepak, who could play in that centre-back role. Here is a chance for Kashi. Looks like it was kept in, but it will be taken forward by Sreenidi Deccan. One back by Kashi. Good challenge, and now it could be a chance for a break. Bijoy does well again. And now it looks like Hartley will stay there, which is the best thing to do, especially when you're not trailing and you're doing really well in the defensive sense of things. That is brilliant stuff there from Julian. He is taken out right in front of the Kashi bench, and that will be the last warning for Rosenberg.
Well, you made it very clear. I mean, what's the point of the centre back going up? We'll talk about that later. Let's look at the challenge. Yes, first and foremost, he clipped him and then he pulled his jersey. So, of course, a couple of infringements happening there. However, this time, a bit of desperation from Mohammad Asif trying to control that. Didn't really work out in favor of Kashi. And talking about the centre back pair. Well, unless you are extremely confident about one of your centre backs manning that region well enough, I think it's...
Yeah, definitely agreed there, Rohit, as Peter Hartley, who we were talking about, puts a ball in. Well dealt with by Pawan, who gets a foot in once again. Rilwan plays it backwards, should be kept in though. And it is. Need to clear their lines here. And they do quite well. Romavia did touch the ball. No, he did not. With his hand, it looked like it could have been a handball. Kashi win it back. Their midfield has been great today at regaining the possession.
I think Kashi should look for a bit more space on the right. The last few minutes have seen them pretty cornered and shoehorned into that left wing. Another free kick now going in favor of Kashi. And Sreenidi Deccan, to be honest, they haven't been very expressive. They are barely clawing Kashi out. Fortunate for them that Kashi hasn't really rang one of those peals of destruction yet. 4 fouls committed by both the sides. It looks like it's going to be the likes of Julian Perez Del Pino with the free kick. And maybe, and just maybe, we may also see Edmund chipping in.
Edmund walks over it. Julian, not the best ball from him. Nicely defended by Jagdeep. And then Rosenberg will get a foul. Haven't seen too much of Edmund, which might be a good thing for him because he wasn't too involved in the first game, but then made a great run and got on the end of a ball from Marco. In fact, Mario Barco, I beg your pardon.
Sends it long. Comfortably defended, and the flag goes up as well. So it seems like Sreenidi Deccan will have to wait for that early infringement that they bank upon, and they are being tested. David Castaneda, the nexus of Sreenidi Deccan attack, has been kept extremely silent. That is how you negate a threat. And Peter Hartley once again spearheading the Kashi defense, and along with him is the man dressed in purple, Arindam Bhattacharya.
Yeah, yet to see a big roar from the Deccan supporters. Haven't had too much to shout about. They could have, if not for Arindam, as you said. Great save from him a few minutes ago. Sabia with the header away. Rosenberg with a bit of pressure there. And then some pressure of his own. He does quite well, in fact, to get a throw for the side in orange.
It looks like Carlos Santamarina is extremely animated right now. Quickly, the throw was taken. Sreenidi Deccan. Somehow it beats me, the team that played such a poetic, such an effusive brand of football in the first game. It's kind of shocking to see. That looks like a lovely ball. Shooting space, can be a goal scoring opportunity. However, Arindam Bhattacharya pulling in a crucial touch, another opportunity. Cross comes floating in, but he couldn't keep his header on target. Kudos to Arindam Bhattacharya, but it looks like Bijoy V has taken a knock on his head. Once again, another centre back goes down for Kashi. And these are extremely ominous signs.
Great work from the defense there from Kashi as we take a look at what happened. In fact, this was a previous foul, the one from Rosenberg. Arindam got a bit of a touch. Then Castaneda had a chance for a header before that. In fact, Bijoy did well to cut across Romavia, who scored a similar goal in the first game. Not easy to keep Sreenidi Deccan in check, but so far Kashi have done a good job. And just getting back to your point there, Rohit, they were very fluid, of course, Sreenidi Deccan, but it's about the opposition. Neroka weren't as strong in the defense as compared to Kashi today, who are up for a fight. That's a great ball down the left hand side. Edmund should keep it in, and he does. In fact, he does not, and it will be a goal kick for the hosts.
Absolutely, there's no second thoughts on the fact that they are defensively very strong, and it isn't just defensively that they are strong. I'll once again point out the names of Jackie Chan Singh, definitely Gyamar Nikum and Senat Singh. Three big names. Gyamar Nikum is a rising midfielder, but Senaj and Jackie Chand has already proven themselves in the Indian circuit. So once they come into the mix, they can prove to be crucial and elemental as well. So of course, Sreenidi Deccan will have to be careful. I mean, they are one of the big sides of the tournament. They are currently topping the table, and now that they find themselves ruling or find themselves trying to roar against the likes of the newcomers, they'll have to do better. This can be a chance. A shot, however, goes wide. Had it been on target, could have been another question for Ubaid CK.
And this was the chance we were talking about. Rilwan doing really well. The touch let Romavia down, but Bijoy did well just to get there. Then Arindam got a touch as well, and the ball came in for Castaneda, which was wide. It's won back nicely there by Faisal. A bit of space here for Rosenberg. Cuts inside, plays it through Romavia towards the right flank. Chance for a cross. It's a good delivery, but Peter Hartley, the heart of the defense, was there to head it away.
I believe passing the ball onto the far right wasn't really a very good option. Bijoy V now coming into the action, because ideally when you're getting the ball in an area which is close to the box and with no player trying to press you or no player trying to stave you immediately, you should try and cut back in instead of sending the ball which gets slightly further away from the edge, and that too from an angle which is so acute. A bit of push and shove there, but eventually Kashi keeps the ball. This can be a golden chance. It looks like Ishan Dey can be in for the pass. However, nice defense, and Sreenidi Deccan eventually pulls the ball back.
They're slowly opening up now this game. Both sides are looking for that elusive first goal. There's Rosenberg again down the right hand side, a double team to stop him. Jagdeep back to Rosenberg. There's good defensive work by Julian. As I said, a lot more deep lying in this game as compared to the previous one, which has totally changed the shape of Kashi and made them a lot more compact than they were in the last game. And I think that has been the major difference for them. Here is Pawan trying to play through for Castaneda. Chance for a shot. That's a good one, but Arindam might have had it covered better from Sreenidi Deccan as they try to open the account at the Deccan Arena.
I would rather say that could have been a 50-50 had that shot been on target, because it was going away from Arindam. He definitely did put in a dive just to ensure if there was a chance he would try and stall it. The idea, the intent was pretty right, but what kind of ticked me in that particular attack is how did David Castaneda break free? He should have been stalled the very moment he lost the ball for the first time, but somehow Kashi allowed him to get hold of the ball. And now Kashi on the break, wonderfully received there by Ishan Dey onto the far right, but eventually concedes possession, and it looks like he's also fouled Abhishek Ambekar, another experienced Monica in Indian football. It's going to be a free kick in favor of Kashi.
Yeah, let's take another look at it. Ishan with a very good touch after a nice ball, but just pulling back Ambedkar, and it will be Sreenidi Deccan ball. Pawan launches it long. Castaneda could not get there. Very good header from Bijoy once and then twice. He's been very active since coming on, and will have a bit of a point to prove after he was dropped, but now has taken it in his stride since coming on.
I think in a marathon league like this is exactly what a coach does to you. Ideally, if you're having a game where you are being trusted, we'll get back to that. It looks like Rosenberg has been at the receiving end of a clattering foul. He's gone down and he's contorting in agony. We can see the dugout of Inter Kashi. Once again, this was the shot. I think maybe Anandam was beaten in that, Liam, because he was too late for the dive. So had it been on target, who knows?
Well, I think with the kind of form that he is in, it might have been saved. So we're of different opinions there, Rohit. But interesting to see that at least Sreenidi Deccan are creating a few chances now. A bit of a push and a challenge, but Inter Kashi move forward with it. That's a good ball towards Ishan. Needs to keep it in. Has a bit of help with Sumit Pasi around him. Does not get there, and that is great work from Ambedkar to just get back after he mistimed his jump and move forward. Here is Romavia. Lots of space for Sreenidi Deccan. Rosenberg. There is an overlapping run. He can play it towards Romavia. Towards Rosenberg. What a goal from Sreenidi Deccan. That is super counter-attacking football, and the Deccan Arena with lots of excitement once again. Rosenberg Gabriel gets his first of the season, and Sreenidi Deccan get the lead versus Inter Kashi.
That is why it is said that you need to have your eyes on the ball always. You cannot allow an opposition like Sreenidi Deccan to get back in the hunt. Once again, wonderful through ball, and look at how he latches on through the legs of Arindam Bhattacharya. What a cool and calm finish, but kudos to Lal Ramoia who created the ball, and how wonderfully he timed his run to perfection in the first place and then eventually smashes it home. That is what Sreenidi Deccan is capable of. For a moment, in an emotional outburst, he kind of took off his jersey, then immediately realized he can't take another booking altogether.
Oh yes, and something that really impressed me with that goal, Rohit, as Ambedkar plays it back. It all started with him winning the ball back. Something that really impressed me was the off-the-ball movement. Rosenberg was involved. He ran through, as we see, gets a yellow card for that celebration. He ran through. Jagdeep went down the right. Rilwan made a run as well. Peter Hartley was kind of looking at Rilwan, so could not pick up Rosenberg. Castaneda was there. So incredible movement from Sreenidi Deccan, and that is something that is their strength. Here comes Rosenberg again. Will keep it in. Decent delivery, but Hartley was there. And now Inter Kashi can move forward. Ishan De has a couple of options, and that's good defending again from Ambedkar, who comes in and snuffs out the danger just in time, but they will keep moving forward. Asif, who hasn't been too involved so far, looks for a pass, plays it towards the right. Jordan to Pasi.
Here's a chance for Inter Kashi. There comes the cross. Wanted to go for an acrobatic volley, but I think there was a bit of miscommunication between the two players of Inter Kashi. He kind of held his shot back because that could have smashed Marco Villar up front. And talking about Ishan De, who is being introduced into the starting 11 today, somehow he's done exceptionally well to receive the balls. But after that, what follows, that has not been there. You were talking about off-the-ball movement. This is how the goal unfurled. Very nicely spotted. When you do some decent off-the-ball movement, that is bound to throw your opposition into a bit of confusion until they have the required numbers in the box. In that case, that off-the-ball movement kind of left Peter Hartley with a lot to ask for. And since he wasn't aware, and Bijoy V's inexperience once again coming to the fore, as a result, Sreenidi Deccan, who's a merciless, ruthless side, you give them a chance, you allow them an iota of space, and they will slaughter you.
Oh yes, and it looks like Ishan Dey gets back up. And what happened there, Rohit, as we just dive a little bit more into the goal, is there was a run by Rilwan, there was a run by Castaneda. So they drew out both the central defenders. Jagdeep took out the left back, and then Rosenberg Gabriel just had to beat Arindam, and he did it quite nicely, going through the keeper's legs, because of course he was trying to spread himself big. So one of the best team goals you will see, even though it only involved two players, the whole team, at least the attacking sense of things, was up to the mark. Here's Faisal, holds onto the ball really nicely, as we have 4 more minutes to play in this first half. It's been a very good start from Kashi, but unfortunately for them, they haven't taken their chances, and Deccan have. Here's Ambedkar, plays it through, but not too much on that ball, as the blue side can move it forward.
This has been a pretty tight encounter. Peter Hartley now not taking a risk, clearing the lines, and Kashi straight away on the ball once again. Edmund looking for some help and space, keeps the ball way too long. This has been a problem with Kashi. They have been keeping the ball too long at their feet. I think it is also a crucial aspect of football that you need to know when to release your balls, because unless you're doing that, you are kind of inviting trouble upon you. And this looks to be very good from Sreenidi Deccan. As the game progressed, they took their time and eventually started coming back. And now Kashi, he can drive forward, looking for some space there. Jordan Lamela plays it to the far left, but wonderfully intercepted.
And now down that right hand side once again, Rosenberg. Romavia is free. He takes a look, he has no one around him, plays it towards the left hand side. That's a poor ball from someone of his stature. Usually will perfect a delivery like that one. And it's interesting you say that, Rohit, because maybe one of the issues for Kashi in getting the ball out of their feet could be this AstroTurf surface, which their coach already spoke about. So sometimes it will get stuck underneath your feet, but that is not happening with the Sreenidi Deccan players because they are so used to it. So these are the few things that you might not realize, but when you are on the pitch, it does come into play, and you have to try and just get around these certain things.
That's a brilliant spot indeed. And just to add to your statement, most of the times when Ishan Dey has taken the run on that right wing, there have been at least 2 to 3 times where after that first touch, he couldn't go forward. Because ideally when you're trying to bring the ball down, you have your feet on top of the ball. So the moment you're hitting the ball onto the ground, it tends to get stuck. So initially what should be a smooth sailing with the ball advancing forward, then the run should be more proper. I think that is getting stopped. In the meanwhile though, Kashi, in fact Sreenidi Deccan has drawn another foul. It looks like they're appealing for a card here, and also at the moment Julian Perez is talking, in fact not Julian Perez, Faisal is talking about an elbow being introduced into the game.
The Castaneda went down, and as I said, a big battle between him and quite a few of the other Kashi players. And that's a good sign for Kashi. The fact that David Castaneda Munoz, their prolific striker, is dropping all the way deep and getting involved, it means that he's not getting enough of the ball, and it's getting slightly heated down at the dugout there between both the managers. There is Castaneda, plays it towards Rosenberg Gabriel, who plays it wide himself. Jagdeep puts a ball into the area. Bijoy does a good job. Rilwan will keep it alive. Ambedkar, decent delivery, but Arindam will get there before anyone else, as we have 5 minutes of added time in this first half, which has been a very interesting battle between the two coaches, both named Carlos. Dare I deem it the Carlos Clasico?
The Carlos Clasico indeed, and to be honest, this game has been riddled with technical moves altogether. It isn't just that open game that we talk about. Both the teams have made very subtle fine-tunings, and we have seen the result as well. It's pretty decent. Intercepted by Sreenidi Deccan. Today, I think the most or the biggest positive for Sreenidi Deccan has been the movement of Rilwan Hassan. He may not have scored the goal, but the way he's kept that defense of Sreenidi Deccan, or rather of Kashi on the left, extremely busy, particularly with Sumit Pasi still kind of wobbling around. I think that has been the turning point. Even in case of the goal, the way he took Bijoy V towards him, and with Peter Hartley busy trying to stall the likes of David Castaneda, that opened up acres of space ahead of him. So yes, in the last game, Hassan may have been slightly sloppy, but today he's a titan redivivus.
Absolutely, Rohit. There he is again, gets the ball from Castaneda. And it's so important because if one of them don't get you, the other one will. Here's Castaneda. Lots of space down the left-hand side. A challenge comes in, but it was not enough for a penalty, of course. And Castaneda doesn't really complain about it. And even if one of these two players do not infect proceedings for Sreenidi Deccan, they do have options on the bench as well in the form of William Alves de Oliveira, Ibrahim Sissoko. As a challenge comes in there from Pavan and takes down Marco, and it will be a yellow card this time as Mario Barco goes down clutching his face.
Second yellow card for Sreenidi Deccan, this time Pavan Kumar drawing that one, and it's because of a foul on Mario Barco Velar. Again, talking about Mario, he's someone who's exceptionally talented, someone who really has some tremendous footwork and is extremely nimble-footed. So of course his presence out in the center is central to the likes of Kashi, trying to get themselves back in the game, trying to restore parity. Once again, this is how the foul have taken place. Arindam going downtown. I think that was slightly unfortunate as well, because that was unintentional. So he was just trying to land. I mean, you can't expect a player not to land. So he just landed out there, and unfortunately he overstepped on the feet of Mario Villar.
Yeah, sometimes we see that happen, and such is the protection that players get, that you try to avoid that. Definitely a tough one to take for Mario Barco. He will continue as we take a look at the fans flocking in here at the Deccan Arena. A nice compact stadium where you can get a close-up of the action as Kashi line up for a free kick. Jordan Lamela puts it in. Very well defended this time. Put into the mix again, but it will land safely into the hands of Ubed CK.
It was a glorious effort indeed from Ishan Dey as well. Wanted to go for the volley. Edmund as well took a shot, took a long ranger in fact to try and test the solidarity of Pavan Kumar. In fact, not Pavan Kumar, Ubed CK. And now Kashi comes all the way from the left, looking around for space. Pulled down in front of the referee's eyes, and the referee deems it that is not something that we should be asked about. That's a nice ball, and Sreenidi Deccan on the prowl once again. Arindam, however, clears the line only as far as Rilwan Hassan into that central channel, and now bombing from the left. In fact, the free kick has gone in the favor of Kashi.
Yeah, looks like Hassan got that touch. So if he got the touch, then it will be his way. That is exactly what David Castaneda, Munoz and Maya are trying to ask the referee. He definitely saw something else here. Hassan is going to stay down. It was quite a tough one to take. And Ambedkar would have been free on the left-hand side.
And knowing Ambedkar, he's someone who doesn't hesitate. Once again, it looks like it's more of an entanglement of feet and kind of Rilwan Hassan taking the blow. Nonetheless, The referee just trying to ensure the fact that everything is hunky-dory before we head to the tunnel. This has been a pretty lively encounter for both the sides. Talking about Inter Kashi, they may be trailing right now, but what we have seen in the last game, you cannot write them off until that final whistle blows. And the best part about them is they can produce anything out of thin air. They are also still to introduce the likes of two of their very experienced stars, the likes of Jackie Chan Singh, the likes of Shehnaz Singh, and alongside that, Gyamar Nikum may also come in place of Ishan Dey, who definitely has done a fabulous job trying to control the ball, but every time the question of release has come in, he somewhat lacked incision. Arindam sends it downtown, hoping to create a last throw of the dice.
It's a great point you make about Inter Kashi not giving up. Asif plays it wide. Edmund doesn't get the pass correct. And that will be half time at Deccan Arena. It's been a great encounter between two sides who are pushing each other to the limit. And so far it is advantage to Sreenidi Deccan as they lead by a goal to nil versus an ever improving Inter Kashi side.
Absolutely. Every single minute has promised us some thrilling action. Both the teams have really pulled their strings well enough. Inter Kashi started the game on a dominant note, and that's the stats. The majority of the ball possession lying for Sreenidi Deccan, however, barely by the skin of its teeth. 6 shots for Sreenidi Deccan, 3 of them for Inter Kashi, none of them on target for Inter Kashi, wherein Sreenidi Deccan has hit the mark thrice. 6 fouls for both the sides, a couple of yellow cards for Sreenidi Deccan, just that one corner for Sreenidi Deccan, wherein Sreenidi Deccan has also found themselves caught in the offside trap once. The other shots taken by Sreenidi Deccan, Ramoya taking a couple of them, one from close range, one from outside the box. Gabriel scored that all-important goal. Castaneda trying his luck from the edge of the box. Hassan trying his luck from the inside the D box.
Yeah, and 3 shots of Inter Kashi. Edmund with 2, Pasi with 1. But what is interesting is Mario Barco not able to shoot. So far, Jordan Lamela and Julian Del Pino as well not shooting for the visitors. That's something they would like to change in the second half. Fouls for Sreenidi Deccan, 2 from Hassan, 1 apiece from Pawan, Eli Sabia, Maya and Rosenberg Gabriel.
This encounter has been something to talk about. Talking about the 6 fouls for both the sides. For Inter Kashi, Ishan Dey leads the line with a couple of them. Edmund, Hartley, Julian and Mario Barco all committed a foul each, making or trying to make life slightly more difficult for Sreenidi Deccan. It's just about the insistence. It's just about believing in themselves. This is how the game has panned out so far. Both the teams trying to bring the war to each other's doorstep. Sreenidi Deccan in the frame. Inter Kashi was in the frame a few ticks ago. And it was Inter Kashi who got us underway. Mario Barco Villar, who's been pretty reticent throughout the day. Rilwan Hassan wanted to kickstart proceedings on a nice note. And once again, navigating through a melee of boots there. Almost setting one of their players kind of free here. It was Abhishek Ambekar. And then another lovely cross floating in from the left. A chance from David Castaneda went begging as Arindam put in a full stretch dive.
Yeah, then Rosenberg started getting involved. Nice 1-2 from him and Romavia, which got the elusive goal for Sreenidi Deccan. And the celebration with the fans, a special one for Rosenberg Gabriel. As you can see, the elation at Deccan Arena. And it stands at 1-0 for Sreenidi Deccan versus Inter Kashi. The second half is going to be a thrilling one, so don't go anywhere as we slip into a short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are all set for another fascinating half of football as Kashi squares off with Sreenidi Deccan. At the moment, it's Sreenidi Deccan who's got a very slender cushion for themselves, whereas Kashi are still on the trail. On your frame, from the left to the right, attacking in their signature orange and green is Sreenidi Deccan, wherein on your frame, attacking from the right to the left in their signature blues is Kashi. And this time it's going to be David Castaneda who will be getting us underway in the second half.
Once again waiting for the official to kick us off here in the second half after what was a great half of football. A half where tactics of both coaches collided and clashed, and so far it is Sreenidi Deccan who have the advantage because of this man on the ball. Rosenberg Gabriel does really well, puts a cross in, and if it was a little closer to Romavia it could have been number 2. Madarindam safely collected, and we saw a couple of substitutions made as well for Kashi. Rohit, you were speaking about Jackie Chan Singh. He has been brought on in place of Ishan De, who was impressive but looked to be carrying a bit of a nickel. And then there is also Haubam Tomba Singh, who comes on in place of Asif, who just was not involved in that first half as much as he would have liked. But here's David Castaneda Munoz, takes a shot from the left hand side. That's a great save from Arindam, but one that he would expect.
Yeah, someone from Arindam, he is a goalkeeper who's pretty towering, who can eclipse chances like that without breaking a sweat. David Castaneda does well, takes a turn and lets one rip. But Arindam, for him, it's pretty much of a regulation clearance. It's going to be a corner here in favor of Sreenidi Deccan. Faisal is set. He sends in that corner into the mix, but it doesn't really bother Kashi. And the referee's blown the whistle, it looks like, is it? No. We go underway and the game continues.
As we take a look at the players on the field, a bit of a change for Kashi, as I mentioned. Oh, that's almost given away. Luckily, Hartley was there to clear. Bijoy needs to be careful playing out from behind. Kashi starting slightly jittery as compared to that first half, and Sreenidi Deccan getting on the ball a lot more. It will be important to see how involved Castaneda Munoz is, and if he drops deeper. There is Mario Barco, tries to feed something into the path of Jackie Chan Singh. Ved comes for it and clears it for what will be a blue ball.
Kashi taking their time now, just not trying to rush into things. Nicely laid onto that far right, does well there. Jordan Lamela sends in a cross. That header was a bit far from where that incoming Haubam Tomba Singh would have expected. Eventually, when you're taking a header from that far, trying to keep that on target becomes the secondary point. The first and primary point is that of how you can power it enough to try and probe the goalkeeper.
That is good from Kashi. Didn't take too many shots in the first half. That's something they will like to change in the second. Rosenberg loses out. That's a good battle between him as we see a foul taking place. Great battle down that flank between Rosenberg and Kojam Beong, who was very busy with no foul in the first game. Now has Rosenberg Gabriel. Not too easy of a start to the campaign. Good header out from Bijoy.
Does well in that central channel, plays it all the way back to Bijoy V, who in turn sends it downtown. And it looks like Sreenidi Deccan will once again control the ball at their feet. Peter Hartley, another Sreenidi Deccan player, has gone down. Will need some medical attention here.
Looks like Mario Barco was involved with maybe Elisabia. Quite an interesting battle there with Mario Barco going for headers up against the likes of Pawan Kumar and Elisabia. In fact, it looks like it's Pawan Kumar who's down.
Pawan Kumar's biggest advantage is his stature. He's a very well-built defender. Ideally, when your defenders are that well-built, it becomes very hard for you to try and muscle your way through them. So maybe just having, now that's kind of an old school format of defense. You have your tall, towering players manning that rear guard and just make life difficult for your opposition. It's good to see that he's back on his feet. He'll be crucial in the last game as well. He was pretty decent for Sreenidi Deccan. Doesn't really allow the opposition to come knocking on the doors too frequently, particularly the wing that he's manning. Peter Hartley, he'll have to play a very crucial role now.
It will be interesting to see if Hartley moves slightly higher up the pitch as the game progresses, and if Inter Kashi are trailing, Mario Barco cannot get the better of the defense there. Will still be a throw-in for Inter Kashi, who will like to put a bit of pressure now on Sreenidi Deccan.
Sreenidi Deccan plays it down that central channel. Nicely knits it forward. Received onto the far right. Looking for space. Cuts back in sharply. However, a pretty emaciated effort there. Very easy pickings for Arindam Bhattacharya.
A decent ball in. Could be a problem, and it could be an equalizer. It struck the woodwork. What a chance for Inter Kashi. Mario Barco, who isn't the biggest of men, does supremely well to get a header onto it and then shakes his head in disbelief because it hits the goal post and he got the better of a couple of them. Keeper was in no man's land. Pawan had to eventually play it out. What a ball from Arindam, and what a chance.
That could have been the moment that would have defined the game had that been on target. A sensational opportunity. Unfortunately, the woodwork standing tall in his way, and that is why you can never write Inter Kashi off, particularly with the likes of Mario up front. There comes the corner. Ubaid CK comes forward, punches it away for another corner. And it looks like Sreenidi Deccan will have to face with a bit more intensity. Jordan Lamela on the ball, trying to whip it once again into the mix, sends it towards the far post. This time Ubaid CK using his stature. I think he's clutching onto his head. Peter Hartley showing a bit of concern there for Ubaid CK. Once again, we all know on the field, no matter how fierce the rivalry is, the moment we go out or the moment there's a stoppage in play, it's all a big extended family.
Oh yes, it is, and that is great to see. Ubaid goes down once again. Hasn't been the best of the last couple of minutes for him, and he will be under a bit of pressure because Inter Kashi are looking for that equalizer. Here comes Sreenidi Deccan though. Maya plays it wide, but Rosenberg, who was making the run, would never have gotten to that. And now time to rebuild for Inter Kashi.
Peter Hartley sends it long. It looks like Inter Kashi is trying to amp up the intensity of the game.
Apologies, wasn't great to see Ubaid going down. It was great to see him get back up. And as I said, he will be under the pump quite a bit as Bijoy tries to launch it long. That's a great ball from him, taken nicely, and this could be the chance for Inter Kashi. Shot doesn't really come in, and somehow Sreenidi Deccan managed to get it away. But this is great play from the visitors.
For a moment, it straight away rekindled me memories of Paul Pogba. I've seen him creating passes like that on the ground. Ideally, if you're creating a through ball from that far and playing it on the ground with such intensity, it is not easy. But that was sensationally built. Unfortunately, Inter Kashi couldn't really use the advantage in their favour. The referee blowing the whistle, eventually awarding a free kick in favour of Sreenidi Deccan.
This is a great second half display from Inter Kashi. They do know that they've got to try and get the next goal in this game. Once Deccan get a second, and if they do, then it could be a problem. Here's Faisal, who's trying to get that second goal. Decent delivery, and Arindam comes for it, and it could be number 2. It is number 2 for Sreenidi Deccan. Looks like it's Pawan who gets the final touch on it, and the big centre back gets number 2 for Sreenidi Deccan. Their home run might just continue.
What could have been a similar form of woe for Sreenidi Deccan at the other end has turned into a living nightmare for Inter Kashi in their half. Castaneda sending it into the mix. Arindam Bhattacharya making a hash of affairs, coming out of his line, missing the flight of the ball, eventually allowing the tall and towering Pawan Kumar to eclipse him with a thumping header into the mix. In fact, it was not Pawan. In fact, it was not David Castaneda. It was Faisal who crafted the ball, and now a free kick going in favour of Inter Kashi. If Inter Kashi can somehow come back from here, that would be absolutely miraculous. And we have the comeback kings in the Premier League, known by the name of Manchester United. If somehow Inter Kashi manages to draw from here on, or maybe go on to win this fixture, I'm sure the nickname of the comeback kings can be lurking around on the horizon as well.
Yes, it could be, because they were down twice versus Gokulam Kerala. They did come back twice and did get a 92nd minute equalizer, so they are capable of that. It's just a question of if they can get back-to-back goals. We also saw what would have been a great comeback yesterday from Rajasthan United, but they could not eventually get that 4th goal. But once again, Rohit Faisal with a brilliant ball in to just about entice Arindam and almost get that ball. But Faisal getting another assist for Sreenidi Deccan. Here come Inter Kashi. Pawan gets the touch on it. Another opportunity to cross, and it's cleared away again.
I think somehow the coherence between the Inter Kashi attacking unit is lacking. That's allowing Sreenidi Deccan to breathe a bit more than they would have expected. At the moment, there's a noose around their neck which is loosening up, particularly with Sreenidi Deccan, or rather with Inter Kashi not really committing forward. I think in times like these, particularly what they've done in the last game, after that they should be not afraid to commit players forward. The entire idea should be to try and show that urgency.
Especially now, since they need a couple of goals. They will definitely try to move people forward. Pawan plays it backwards, and time for Sreenidi Deccan to just see out the next 10-15 minutes. Hold on to possession, score if they can, and then take it by here. Here's Romavia. A bit of a turn from him. Eventually he gets away. Advantage played on by the ref. Chance for a cross. That's a decent delivery, but a bit too much on it. And good advantage played on by the ref, but Deccan could not really make the most of it.
In the first half, we said that Inter Kashi started on a very dominant note. Sreenidi Deccan took their time to hit the right yard. In the second half though, they have been a lot more active, and Kashi has barely survived on scraps of sustenance. So with that being said, we'll like to see how Kashi plans to come back in this game. Of course, they do have the firepower. The substitutions haven't really helped their cause. Jackie Chan Singh still to receive the ball at least once. And now Bijoy V trying to power that one forward. Once again, the ball not being released. And to be honest, he never really had too many options either to release the ball. So maybe in both the cases where you will need your numbers going up front, where you will expect that you will have ample space and support by your side, I think Kashi is now not doing a so very good job.
Foul coming in there from Bijoy to take out Castaneda. Great hold-up play by the number 11. He can do everything, can David Castaneda Munoz, as Eli Sabia has a word with the ref. He can hold up, as we've seen. He can head the ball, shoot from a distance, make the runs through, peel off as well. As Rilwan is open on the left-hand side, a bit too much on that one. He cannot keep it in. An hour played here as we have a double header this evening. A very important game coming up as well. Mohammedan Sporting and Shillong Lajong taking the field at 7 p.m. So do join us for that one as well, as Bijoy moves this forward for Kashi.
That's a nice ball. Kashi trying to latch onto it, eventually gets there. But once again, the numerical superiority is proving overwhelming here. Finally a throw in. And it looked like Mario Barco Villar is now trying to do a bit more talking that he did in the first half. Eventually a exchange of pleasantries between him and Pawan Kumar. It looks like it may be a long throw. No, Sumit Pasi is happy to take it short, but eventually doesn't really find the player. A sudden shot just coming in from that right wing, just from the edge of the box, and Kashi is wrested possession only to give it away cheaply.
No shots on target so far from the visitors. That has been the issue. Even one hitting the woodwork of the head of Mario Barco. Here is Jordan Lamela, who's trying to whiz something up with his left foot. Plays it on the wing. Not the best of deliveries there. Cutting inside on the right foot from Kojam Beyong. Bijoy is very active. He always manages to get the ball away.
A bit of push and shoves, as you were talking about this Friday being a bustling double header. Of course, there will be another exciting game coming on, particularly with the likes of Mohammedan Sporting in the mix. The first game they had to toil hard to secure that victory. It did come eventually, but it was not easy. So yes, with the Highlanders once again coming into action, two seasoned war horses taking the yard today. It's going to be exciting. But now when we talk about excitement, with 28 minutes still to run down the clock, Kashi will try and restore parity, will try and be more incisive in the mix. Sreenidi Deccan will hope to continue on a similar note of goal scoring aggression. Peter Hartley on the challenge will let that ball slide out of the field of play and eventually get a goal kick in their favour.
Hartley's got to start moving forward. Plays it into the midfield. Not too many options. Sreenidi Deccan did keep a clean sheet versus Naroka. That will be the objective here now that they've got 2 goals. A clean sheet will be important for them. Bijoy plays it long. Not the best of passes, straight into the path of Pawan. And a bit of space here, decent turn. Pasi looks to move forward. crosses it in, but there's no one home. And this is great shape and organization from Sreenidi Deccan. We speak so much about them moving forward and their fluidity and their creativity. But how about this for structure and discipline and being compact at the back?
I think the plaudits go to Eli Sabia. He's an experienced man and someone who's played on quite a few circuits. This can be a chance for Sreenidi Deccan, but Bijoy V had his eyes on the ball, denying David Castaneda, particularly with Peter Hartley trailing in this run, is never really easy. Came on as a substitute for an injured Deepak Devrani, but since then, he's actually proven his worth for his side. Nothing to do much in case of those 2 goals. Once again, here's a look. In fact, Castaneda actually had a slender sway bombing forward, but Bijoy had his eyes on the ball. That's very crucial.
Third corner now for Sreenidi Deccan. Great stuff from Bijoy. As I said, he's always in the mix. Same thing can be said about Castaneda, who he went up against. Here's Faisal. Decent delivery. Both players go up for the header once and then twice, and it falls to Kashi, who played forward. Eli Sabia allows Jordan Lamela to have a bit of the ball, who cuts onto his left foot, dinks it in, but good piece of defending once again. A couple of Kashi players get in the way, and then a shot is a feeble one from Mario Barco, who is looking like quite a frustrated figure this evening.
I think this attempt to try and send the balls in from the far wings by Kashi won't really work out here, considering the integrity of the defensive structure that you were talking about a few moments ago. Because at the moment, Sreenidi Deccan has a 2-goal cushion. So for them, it is just going to be easy as much as Kashi wants to take the shots from range. Because defending crosses from far wings is easier than to stop ground football. I mean, it's understandable that is one of Kashi's wheelhouse, trying to send in those long balls. But you also need to understand which opposition you're playing against. Here's a long throw that comes in. Bijoy V has been instrumental today, and he still continues to defend his citadel with all his might and tenacity. Short passes, just hoping that maybe and just maybe they can build something from the back. Few moments ago, Liam, we saw a sensational through ball that was played along on the ground. Unfortunately, I think that was kind of a rarity that Kashi has created. I don't think, or I don't see any replications of an effort like that.
What is interesting about Kashi is that their centre backs play a lot of the forward balls. Can be a bit of a chance here, but good piece of defending again from Sreenidi Deccan. How about that for some hold up play? No foul, says the ref, even though Castaneda thought it was one. That's a good ball towards the right hand side from Jackie Chand. Decent delivery, but again very good covering there from Ubed. So with Kashi, what happens is Bijoy or Peter Hartley make those balls through. And what we were seeing in the first half with Julian Perez Del Pino dropping deep and trying to create that from the midfield, that's not happening. So that has been an issue for them. Here is Castaneda though, plays it towards Rilwan, who can go for the cutback. It's a very good cutback, and Arindam gets there just in time before Romavia can get a tap in.
It looks like while Arindam was trying to collect that, and on his stride up, his feet may have caught the gut of Romaya. However, it looks like the referee is okay with that. In all likelihood, a change is being primed at the moment. The referee having a quick word with Arindam Bhattacharya. Maybe just drop the ball in play, because that's a free kick that's been given. And now Peter Hartley, the heart of Kashi defense, that hasn't really pumped as much as he would have wanted. That's a sensational cross coming in once again, but falls at the feet of a Sreenidi Deccan defender. And now they will try and build only for Peter Hartley to once again hog the limelight and clear their defenses.
Sreenidi Deccan trying to move forward again. That's nicely won back by Perez to Mario Barco, who holds it up well. Stringing a few passes together, but that final ball in hasn't been the best from Inter Kashi. We just have above 20 minutes to try and get a couple of goals. And Sreenidi Deccan look like they are preparing a double change, which we will see right now. They do have a lot of firepower on the bench. And for now, Rilwan will come off, and so will Lalram Mawia. Great games for both of them once again. And Ibrahim Sissoko will come on, and so will Luanga. So a double change for the home side. It looks like Gyama Nikum will get 21 minutes or so, and he replaces Beyong, who was marshalling down that left hand side and trying to keep Rosenberg Gabriel in check. Gyama Nikum might just have to play like a wing back to try and cover, unless Edmund does the same. We'll have to see how they shape up.
And Kashi now coming all the way from the left, but Sreenidi Deccan absolutely staunch in their belief that they will defend until they die. However, it looks like Sreenidi Deccan may have just given the ball away and some space, but Inter Kashi couldn't really collect that or take that in their wings. And now Sreenidi Deccan are on the prowl, taking it to the extreme left. The drums have already come out because the home team is now leading, and it's now beating in rhythm with the home team's dominion. However, as we talk about Inter Kashi, they are a team that will fight till that final whistle. No matter the goal line, they will keep on knocking on the doors. Here's a long throw. That is not really well collected, but eventually Sreenidi Deccan will have the say. Across comes floating in Rilwan Hassan, leaping. In fact, it wasn't Rilwan Hassan, it is Ibrahim Sissoko who's just come out.
Speaking of that, Rilwan replaced by Sissoko. What a change to have. You've got Rilwan, who you deploy for the first 70 minutes. He gives his all. He gets involved and almost creates a few chances, almost scored as well. And then you have someone like Ibrahim Sissoko, who hails from Ivory Coast and can marshal the midfield, can also move forward and just put the game to bed. So they're spoiled for choice, Sreenidi Deccan, as this ball comes in. Nothing really too impressive about it. And they have a plan, and that's exactly what Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto is doing. He knows which players he has to start, and then he brings on the substitutes who are a like-for-like replacement when required. Not the best of kicks there, but it somehow manages to find a pass from Ubaid, and Rosenberg Gabriel, who has been really good today, gets a free kick.
I think with 18 minutes of regulation time to go, Inter Kashi should try and commit more numbers forward. And most importantly, now Bijoy V will have to play a crucial role here. He will have to tell Peter Hartley to go forward. Here's a long ball sent. Arindam Bhattacharya quick to get off his line and collect it without breaking a sweat. A bit of a tussle there, does well. Inter Kashi now trying to drive forward. Plays it all the way back. Let's see if Inter Kashi can find an opening from here on. Peter Hartley plays it forward once again to Edmund. And Edmund now has played it back to Jackie Chan Singh. Jackie Chan Singh concedes possession, allows Sreenidi Deccan to take the ball away, but they've given it back to Inter Kashi. Peter Hartley once again on the ball. Nicely done. Well received. And now Inter Kashi just playing possessional football, not really letting the ball go. Eventually to concede possession at a very poor miss pass.
Now Inter Kashi trying to move forward again. Jackie Chan Singh didn't have too many options in the box. Does well to keep possession. It's a good spell from Inter Kashi, but as you can see, Sissoko gets the touch in and makes sure that Inter Kashi don't get that goal. And that's a nice ball back towards Sissoko. Rosenberg Gabriel makes the run. He has Castaneda Munoz making it with him. Castaneda Munoz has not troubled the rhythm as well as he would have liked.
Well, Castaneda Munoz had all the time in the world to set himself up for a much more venomous shot. Unfortunately, it felt like he wanted to take it on the run, and all he could manage was just a bit of sky and a bit of wind behind it. Kashi is now somewhat running on an exhausted fuel tank. They'll come all the way from the left, cuts back in, looking for some support and space. Plays it towards the far right. Still looking for a bit of space, eventually plays it along the line, only for that to go out of play.
Yeah, as we come towards the end of this game, 15 minutes to go, Kashi need to get one back as soon as possible if they are to get another point away from home. But what a start this has been, Rohit, to what should be an exciting weekend of I-League football. The game after this, of course, at 7 p.m, Mohammedan Sporting versus Shillong Lajong. Tomorrow we have Real Kashmir versus Trau as well. Nicely done again by Sissoko, who gets it back. Good 1-2s in that midfield between him and Luanga, both of them who are fresh. And then tomorrow, and then on Sunday again, we've got Gokulam Kerala versus Naroka FC. So lots of action for you as Kashi try to move forward but are stopped in their tracks. And Rosenberg will move forward again. He has a lot of energy today and looks like he might go all the way to try and take on Pasi. Castaneda is there. Castaneda Munoz can set it up for Luanga, who tries to open it up for himself and will open it up for himself and finds the bottom left corner. What a finish by the substitute. And Luanga gets number 3 for Sreenidi Deccan, which should just about confirm the 3 points at Deccan Arena, which will take them to the top of the I-League.
In fact, it will cement their position at the top. A sensational strike. It was never easy to get past Peter Hartley, but all it took Luanga was an outside dodge, and Peter Hartley was completely thrown out of his position. And then the cool and composure in which or with which he smashed the ball, that was impeccable. Sreenidi Deccan have now confirmed themselves, dragging the bragging rights of this fixture. Another change which will see Vikas Singh coming into the mix. But the question remains, does this change bring in a bit of change in the fortunes as well for the likes of Kashi?
Well, it could, Rohit, but I think it's a bit too late now. Lamela comes off. He had not the best of games this time out. Sissoko is an absolute machine in that midfield. He just keeps going. A big brute force as well. And again, Rohit, that run from Rosenberg Gabriel, he has been superb. And just as we thought that David Castaneda Munoz was not really involved, not really creating too many opportunities, as we see that pass from Hartley, he comes up with an assist. It is very uncommon for David Castaneda Munoz to not get a goal or an assist. Last season, he notched up 15 goals and 7 assists within the 22-game season. And this season already, he's got 2 goals and 1 assist. You just cannot keep him quiet.
Being honest with you, Liam, initially we were talking about how Sreenidi Deccan hasn't really succeeded in trying to bomb forward with their initial frequency, or with their usual frequency rather. However, now that we look back at the game, we take a much more holistic approach. This has been a very clinical destruction of Kashi, a very systematic form of going forward, trying to knock on the doors, eventually opening up the floodgates before they could find the goals. And that is indeed a treat to watch. Faisal on the ball, plays it all the way back to Sissoko. Sissoko steers it once again further deep. Faisal to Sissoko. Sissoko taking his time, a nice triangle in place, comprising the likes of Faisal, Sissoko, and definitely Jagdeep Singh as well.
That's the best way to put it, Rohit. It has been such a systematic approach. They've known exactly how to break down this Kashi defense, who have been good today. And 3, as we see a foul from Hartley again, and 3-0 is a bit of a bitter scoreline for Kashi, who have been in this game for a while. But in the second half, Sreenidi Deccan have shown how they can create more chances. And speaking of chances, Biakte looks like he will be coming on. He scored in the last game, coming on as a sub, and he will replace Rosenberg Gabriel, who has been another star performer for Sreenidi Deccan.
Well, Biaktia just didn't score in the last game. He also dragged a penalty for his team, which Castaneda converted with precision. Faisal on the ball. Launches the free kick into the mix. Arindam this time will collect it comfortably. I don't think Arindam wants his players to stop. He wants them to run and keep on running at the opposition. Try and find an infringement if they can. The referee blowing the whistle, eventually awarding a free kick in favor of Kashi that they take very quickly. Jackie Chan Singh came out as a substitute, but has been pretty lackluster, to be honest. When the first round was happening, Liam, we had a word saying that as the rounds progress, these teams are going to have a fine-tuning between themselves, and they will be a lot more intimidating version of themselves. Kashi may have a chance, but before they could unload that effort, Sreenidi Deccan clamped them down like bees around a hive.
Yeah, it's about the clean sheet now for Sreenidi Deccan. They might get a fourth and repeat the scoreline versus Naroka. But for now, if they can keep 2 clean sheets in 2, they will be very happy. And that takes them to 2 wins out of 2, of course. They started off so well last year. As we see that foul from Sissoko. They started off so well last year with 3-3 in the Deccan Arena and then drew. So it could be the same thing this time round, especially with 2 games at home to start off with.
Absolutely, when you win your first 2 games, and that too by such emphatic margins, that does a world of good to your confidence. And more importantly is that the kind of football that Sreenidi Deccan has played, it's been fascinating. And now Kashi trying their best to keep the ball at their feet. Knits it towards the far left, well kept in the game by Jackie Chand. Plays it into the stride of Julian Perez, who sends in a ball in front of the goal. It was a pretty tantalizing one. Unfortunately, Mario Barco Villa won't really reach that. Goes out of play, and Obaid will be happy to take the goal kick.
That was a very good ball in, but Mario just could not get on the end of it. It's been that sort of a day for Kashi, where they've worked well, but the final product hasn't really panned out for them. And speaking of Sreenidi Deccan and how well they started off last season, they could try and do the same thing this season as well. They do have 3 home games in a row. Today they will keep the 3 points. As you see, Mario Barco, who has been brought down in the area, but I don't think it was a penalty. And the referee also agrees. So Sreenidi Deccan after this, again at home, play Aizawl FC. They would love to pick up 3 points there before they move away from home. Another delivery comes in, but there's absolutely no one around. And now Deccan won't be able to move it forward. It was straight towards Hartley. Vikash loses possession in a dangerous area. Biakte can turn. Luanga, both of the goal scorers in different games, working well together. Biakte again tries to move forward. A bit of a drag back and a definite foul from behind from the likes of Vikash Singh.
As we talk about, or as we narrate the extraordinary sequence that unfurling ahead of us at the Deccan Arena, the official head count of fans in the stands is 696, which is very decent, audience, in terms of this being a Friday afternoon fixture, or let's say an evening fixture. And they have been thoroughly entertained. When your team performs such decent football, of course, you're bound to be happy. There comes the free kick. Arindam just palming it away. I think Arindam could have done better than that. Trying to collect it. A nice cross coming in. Chance again. What a strike! That's a pile driver driven in the first post. And Arindam could only put in a staunch dive to be defeated time and time again. Goal number 4, and it comes from Biaktia, replicating his heroics in the first game. He's pulled off a similar number in the second as well.
It's delight for Deccan in the Deccan arena. Biaktia once again getting involved. What a lovely layoff there by Pavan, who gets an assist to add to his goal. But an incredible strike from the substitute who makes it 2-2. He was left all alone by Edmund. That's what Peter Hartley is saying. But there is no stopping Biakte, and there is no stopping Sreenidi Deccan by the looks of it, as they prepare another double substitution. And they're going to bring on 2 more players to add to the party, including William de Oliveira, as Castellana Munoz goes off, and they put an end to what has been a super performance once again.
An impeccable display indeed, and Faisal Shaeste, he may not have found the goal. This is another lovely ball, a chance to make it 5-0. Shoots it, but the flag's gone up. But even if we consider this offside to be a failed attempt or a failed timing, what an emphatic performance has this been. They have completely thrown into Kashi off their scent. The first half was slightly haywire in terms of control, but come the second half, it has been thoroughly dictated by the Sreenidi Deccan. The Warriors are at play, and what a stunning display. What a valorant display here, or an impeccable, a courageous display here from Sreenidi Deccan.
It has been created for them, from them rather, and of course they look like they could be keeping another clean sheet as well. Could this be their year? Sreenidi Deccan are looking in red hot form. They weren't at their best in the first half, but somehow managed a goal, and in the second half they have just broken down the Kashi defense ever so well. Nice little nutmeg there from Julien. Edmund cuts inside, looks for a pass through, but that will be offside up against the Kashi striker in Mario Barco.
Talking about ball possession, I'm sorry to interject you. Talking about the ball possession, both the sides have been pretty closely placed.
Last season, Rohit, is what I was saying, Sreenidi Deccan got 44 goals. This season they've started with 4 + 4, 8. So they would try to beat that this season round. Peter Hartley's had a bit of a push. As the referee spots it, it's all okay. And another push again.
A couple of pushes indeed. I mean, the face of Peter Hartley can be pretty hostile when his team is attacking, or at least when he's at the defensive end. But the way Sreenidi Deccan has navigated through him, particularly, in fact, it looks like the referee will have the yellow card coming out, and it is eventually shown. We'll quickly confirm the numbers for you. 2 minutes of regulation time remaining. Sreenidi Deccan once again showcasing. We were talking about that how Naroka FC wasn't exactly a powerhouse that they were up against, but Kashi, in fact, it has gone to Peter Hartley. Naroka FC may not have been a powerhouse against whom they powered 4 goals, but Kashi, despite being a very strong defending contender, they have also conceded 4 goals as well. That tells you about the attacking supremacy and the defensive integrity of Sreenidi Deccan.
Oh yes, Rohit. We were questioning whether this would be their year. They finished third in 21-22, second in 22-23. Will they go all the way this season? Well, if you can take anything from the first two games, then they definitely could. Superb form and a superb team that has been formed by Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto. A few of the old guard continuing, and what they do so well is they complement each other. If somebody doesn't perform, if they're not up to the mark, then the other one will come through. Today Rosenberg Gabriel really showed up, even though Castaneda Munoz wasn't at his best in the first half. Rilwan Hassan was very good, Romavia was very good, Faisal came to the party in the second half, and the substitutes also coming on and doing so well. That could have been handball against Hartley, and 6 minutes will be added at the end of the 90.
6 minutes.
The Carlos Clasico's opening chapter has been won by Carlos Manuel Vaz Pinto. However, don't think that this is the last of Inter Kashi that Sreenidi Deccan has seen. Of course, they'll try and bounce back harder. Arindam may have made a hash of affairs in case of that second goal. There comes the free kick, comfortably headed away by Inter Kashi. Now Sreenidi Deccan, a bit of chaos in the centre, eventually taken care of by Sreenidi Deccan. Plays it all the way back, trying to control it. Nice short pass, and now sends it downtown, safely into the hands of Arindam.
Coming into this game, Sreenidi Deccan had scored 11 in their last 5, including their games in the Super Cup. Now that takes it to 15 of 6. So they are in supreme goal scoring form, and it looks like they want a 5th as well. Nice one to Sissoko, plays a no-look pass. Biakte plays it back towards Luanga, and they're really turning it on here, Sreenidi Deccan, as they put on a show every time here at the Deccan Arena. Still unbeaten in the I-League for them, and that could take some beating as they try to move forward. Ball comes into the area but is cleared away by Inter Kashi. That's a very nice turn to open things up here for Inter Kashi. A couple of pushes come in, but that run is eventually stopped. It was a decent run from Tomba Singh.
I think the fact that they actually pushed back, with even Jackie Chan Singh heading back for defensive duties, by the time he could have come on, had he been slightly in a better position, that could have been a better chance. Though it's going to be a corner, and it is going to be Jackie Chan Singh to float it into the mix. A very sweaty figure. That's a third corner for Inter Kashi. Let's see if they can at least get a consolation goal for themselves. And there it comes, headed into the back of the net by Mario Barco Vela. That's what he's capable of. May not change the complexion of the game, but definitely will go a long way forward in enhancing the confidence of the side.
What a header that is from Mario Barco Vela. A great ball in from Jackie Chan Singh. You can see how many of the Sreenidi Deccan players were back to defend that corner, but none of them could get close to Mario Barco because he just peeled off, created some space for himself, and what a header by him to get onto the score sheet and get his first goal of this I-League campaign to add to the assists from the last game. So yes, Rohit, as you said, there will be a consolation, so at least they can take something forward from this one, can Inter Kashi. But Sreenidi Deccan will be very disappointed that they haven't kept the clean sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been an extraordinary sequence if they could have kept back-to-back clean sheets. But knowing the game of football, no matter how good you are, at times it may feel that despite the best of your efforts, you would still concede. We have seen the greatest of goalkeepers, whether it was Peter Shilton or whether it was Oliver Kahn, all of them going down. And now here's a chance for Sissoko, takes a lovely shot, grazes the side netting, stretches Arindam to the fullest of extent. He would have definitely loved to find himself on the score sheet, and had that goal being scored, whatever blemish that Sreenidi Deccan would head back to the tunnel with, that would have been completely obliterated.
He went for the first post, had the second one entirely open as Deccan were looking to get number 5. Here's Sissoko again, gets past a couple of challenges, but then Julian comes forward, who has been really good. Another chance for Sreenidi Deccan, but it's a feeble shot from Arun Kumar.
Arindam Bhattacharya, I think he'll have to take a look at the goals that he's conceded. To be honest, even in the last game before he came out flying like a phoenix on a couple of occasions, the second goal that he conceded was purely a misjudgment of the flight of the ball. Today as well, that second goal that he conceded, he never really understood the flight of the ball. Came out, but nonetheless, into Kashi. That's another lovely ball, and it looks like the flag's gone up. Once again, with all said and done, we are now in the final minute of this fixture, and it looks like Sreenidi Deccan, and that could be a tackle which will bring the card out eventually. Quickly dragging him back to his feet there. Luanga, who scored a goal as well.
Yeah, poor challenge from him. Just coming in from behind, unnecessary. Getting Julian, but thankfully not really injuring him. Here coming to Kashi again, looking for a second. Almost got it. Did Mario Barco Villar. He has been a live wire towards the end of this game. As we see that yellow card for Luanga to add to his goal. As we have played the 6 minutes in added time, and as the final whistle goes in what has been another stellar performance from Sreenidi Deccan at the Deccan Arena. They hit 4 goals against Kashi and move on to 6 points out of 2 games in the I-League.
Kashi will definitely have a look at their drawing board, trying to come up with an alternative. But to be honest, they tried and they kept on knocking on the doors. However, today was not to be their day, but the brand of football that they knitted in the second half, they may have been outplayed, but in the first half they were pretty decent. And at the same time, the absence of Deepak Devrani didn't really help their cause either. The stats of the game, the ball possession somewhat similar, 51% for Sreenidi Deccan, 15 shots from them, out of which 9 were on target, 9 shots from Kashi, only a couple of them on target, one of them found the back of the net as well. 12 fouls for Sreenidi Deccan, 13 for Kashi, 3 yellow cards for Sreenidi Deccan, wherein 1 for Kashi.
Of those 15 shots, 4 of them came from David Castaneda Munoz, who's always involved, but he did not find the back of the net today. 3 from Rosenberg Gabriel. What a performance from him again. He got that first goal. From Mabia with a couple. Arun, Luanga, Biakte and Pavan getting 1 each, and they also scored 1 each. Did the final 3 on that list. And the shots for Kashi, Mario Barco hit the bar as well, then got a header which found the back of the net, which was a bit of a consolation out of his 3 shots. Edmund and Tomba took 2 each. Julien and Pasi took a couple from a distance, but they could only score 1 at the end of the day.
That's a look at the fouls committed by Sreenidi Deccan. Eli Savia with a couple of them, Hassan with a couple of them, Sissoko with a couple of them, and then Arun, Luanga, Pavan Kumar and David Castaneda shared a foul each. Definitely just trying to make life slightly difficult for Sreenidi Deccan, or in fact for Kashi. 13 fouls from Inter Kashi. Ishan Dey had a couple of them in the first half. Mario Varco Villar had 2 of them as well. And then Edmund, Peter Hartley, Jordan Lamela, Jackie Chan Singh and Julian having 1 foul each. They'll definitely take heart from the fact that they fought with everything on the pitch. But there will be times where you may not be as successful as you want to be. There may be times where you may have to bite the bullet. But eventually what matters is how you come back. This is a marathon league. There will be troughs and there will be crests. That's how the game played out. This is Sreenidi Deccan knocking on the doors early on. That was a sensational ball. And eventually the goal that went through Arindam's legs. And a bit of a cheeky celebration, which got him a yellow card as well. But that didn't really matter. And then Faisal sending in a lovely cross, which was headed into the back of the net. And the fans going berserk with that. That was the shot that was sent into the far post as celebrations ran supreme for Luanga. And eventually the pile driver. In fact, that was the 3rd goal still.
Yeah, great goal to beat Hartley and then Arindam in the same move is always special, as Luanga came on from the bench and got the 3rd. Superb game, of course, from Sreenidi Deccan. And then this was a lovely move between Biaktie, who is getting used to being a super sub and scoring off the bench, as Pawan showed us that he can also set up the goals very nicely as well as score. So he got a goal and an assist. And to finish it off on a bit of a sweet note, it was Mario Barco who got the header off a Jackie Chand cross. As we wrap things up in the Deccan Arena, Sreenidi Deccan Football Club with a thumping victory over Inter Kashi as they defeat them by 4 goals to 1. That is all from my co-commentator Rohit Ganguly and myself, Liam Bain. But don't go anywhere, because in a few moments time we will be joining you once again for Mohammedan Sporting versus Shillong Lajong.